Modern phones appear personal, private, and always in our control. In reality, phones exist inside large invisible systems. These systems do not rely on listening to conversations. They rely on structure. Every phone must connect to a network to function. That connection creates location. Location exists even when no apps are open. Location exists even when the phone is idle. This is the foundation of phone tracking. Governments do not need your messages first. They need your signal. Every phone constantly announces its presence to nearby towers. This process is automatic. It cannot be turned off while the phone is connected. Cell towers form geographic zones. Each zone has a unique identity. When a phone enters a zone, it is logged. When it leaves, that movement is logged. This creates a continuous trail. The trail is not a map. It is a sequence of connections. By itself, one connection means little. Over time, connections become patterns. Patterns reveal routines. Routines reveal behavior. This is why tracking does not require content access. Metadata is sufficient. Metadata describes who connected, when, and where. It does not describe what was said, but it describes movement. Movement is more valuable than conversation. Phones also communicate with networks even when unused. Background synchronization continues silently. Location updates occur in intervals. These intervals are predictable. Predictability simplifies tracking. Governments often access this data indirectly. They do not always collect it themselves. Telecom providers already store it. Retention laws require storage for defined periods. The purpose is not surveillance of everyone. The purpose is availability when needed. Once stored, data becomes searchable. Search does not require physical access to the phone. It requires authorization. Authorization activates visibility. In addition to towers, phones interact with identifiers. Each device has a unique hardware signature. This signature persists across networks. Changing SIM cards does not remove it. Disabling apps does not remove it. The identifier allows correlation. Correlation links multiple data sources together. Location records can be matched with travel records. They can be matched with financial transactions. They can be matched with known addresses. This process narrows uncertainty. Governments rarely track individuals randomly. Tracking begins with a question. The system then looks backward. Historical data reveals prior movement. Past movement predicts future behavior. This is how tracking becomes proactive. Phones also connect to Wi-Fi networks. Wi-Fi access points have locations. Connection attempts are logged. Even failed attempts leave traces. Urban areas multiply these signals. The more dense the environment, the clearer the trail. Airplane mode interrupts some signals. It does not remove all identifiers. Phones still emit limited information. Powering off the device is the only full interruption. Even then, past data remains. Tracking systems are not instant. They are accumulative. Accuracy increases with time. A single day offers noise. Weeks offer clarity. Months offer certainty. This is why long-term tracking is powerful. The system does not need perfection. It needs repetition. Once behavior is understood, location becomes prediction. Prediction reduces the need for constant monitoring. This is the silent system behind the screen. Most users never notice it. Nothing visibly changes on the device. No alerts appear. No permissions are requested. The phone simply functions as designed. The system works because it must. Connectivity is the requirement. Tracking is the consequence. This does not mean every phone is actively watched. It means every phone is trackable. The difference matters. Understanding that difference explains the system. Tracking becomes visible only when a threshold is crossed. That threshold is usually relevance. Most data sits unused. It exists quietly in storage systems. When an investigation begins, the past becomes searchable. Phone records turn into timelines. Timelines turn into movement maps. Movement maps turn into behavior models. This is why tracking feels retroactive. The system looks backward before it looks forward. Governments do not start with a live feed, they start with history. History provides context. Context reduces uncertainty. Once context exists, monitoring becomes focused. Focused tracking is efficient. Efficiency reduces resource use. This is how large populations remain manageable. Tracking systems are designed for scale. They are built to process millions of devices at once. Automation performs most of the work. Humans interpret results. Algorithms identify anomalies. An anomaly is behavior that breaks routine. Sudden location changes trigger attention. Unusual travel timing triggers review. Pattern breaks are more important than location itself. Stability creates invisibility. Movement creates visibility. Phones reveal stability through repetition. They reveal change through deviation. This applies even without active communication. Silence does not equal invisibility. Silence often increases clarity. When fewer signals exist, important ones stand out. This is why minimal phone use does not guarantee privacy. Reduced activity simplifies analysis. Governments also use aggregation. Individual data points are weak. Combined data points are strong. One location record means little. Thousands define certainty. Time multiplies accuracy. The longer the window, the clearer the picture. This is why data retention matters. Short retention limits insight. Long retention enables prediction. Legal frameworks define these limits. Different countries apply different durations, but the structure remains consistent. Phones are designed to be reachable. Reachability requires disclosure. Disclosure creates records. Records create memory. Memory creates traceability. Tracking does not require malicious intent. It emerges from design choices. Network efficiency depends on constant updates. Billing depends on connection records. Security depends on device identification. Each requirement produces metadata. Metadata accumulates naturally. Once accumulated, it becomes powerful. Governments do not need to invent tracking systems. They inherit them. Telecommunications infrastructure predates smartphones. Smartphones intensified its visibility. Modern phones simply produce richer data. Sensors add additional layers. Motion sensors confirm movement. Bluetooth reveals proximity. App permissions refine precision. Even when denied, networks persist. This is why software privacy differs from network privacy. Apps operate within the device. Networks operate around it. Users control apps. Users do not control towers. This distinction defines the power imbalance. Understanding it changes expectations. Privacy becomes contextual, not absolute. Phones are tools of convenience. Convenience requires compromise. The compromise is awareness. Most users accept it unknowingly. The system remains quiet by design. Noise would cause resistance. Silence maintains trust. Trust sustains usage. Usage sustains data flow. Data flow sustains the system. This cycle explains its durability. Disabling features reduces exposure. It does not eliminate it. True invisibility requires disconnection. Disconnection defeats the phone's purpose. This is the paradox users face. Connectivity enables modern life. Connectivity enables tracking. Both exist together. Governments operate within this reality. They do not need constant surveillance. They need capability. Capability exists continuously. Activation is selective. Selection depends on circumstance. This is the silent difference between tracking and monitoring. Tracking is potential. Monitoring is execution. Most phones remain potential. Some become monitored. The system does not change when that happens. Only focus changes. Understanding this removes fear. It replaces it with clarity. Phones are not special targets. They are network participants. Participation creates records. Records create traceability. Traceability enables tracking. This chain defines the system. It is quiet. It is persistent. It is structural. And it exists behind every screen.